What is groupthink? The American Heritage Dictionary characterizes groupthink as a collective decision making based off of one large group of people. This can also be considered mob mentality, and it can be used for good and bad. There are good examples out there as well as bad ones, but I would like to go and dive into why groupthink is a phenomenon that tears apart our modern day social fabric. One way we see groupthink affect us is in politics. The Washington Post said 2,000 people went ahead and stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2020. This was in protest of Donald Trump losing the 2020 election. And these people, a lot of them were normal. These weren't all wackos. There were some people in there who pushed the envelope of what would be considered, reasonable. But those people dictated the pace of the crowd. Those people went and made large decisions, such as storming the Capitol building for the large group of people. Many of these wouldn't even consider storming the United States Capitol. It sounds ridiculous. But once these ideas floated and started to gain traction, there was no stopping it. This is because we're scared of ostracization on a subconscious level, and we will accept things that aren't normally acceptable when the people around us see it as such. Now, this isn't just my thoughts rambling. Professor Solomon Asch held a study in the late 1950s where he got a bunch of random people and he put them in a room. And in that room, he said, tell me which line is longer. And it's obvious which line is longer. There's an objective reality to it. But these participants were gaslit by the people who were holding the experiment. They were saying, no, this line's longer, this line's longer. And 1/3, 33% of the participants changed their answer when they thought everyone around them disagreed with them. They changed their outlook on reality. They weren't changing an opinion on which line was longer. They were changing the way they saw and interacted with the world based on what was socially acceptable. But Riley, you might say, what about the positive benefits of groupthink? Because there are positive benefits. The Gallup survey indicated since 1996, popularity from gay marriage rose from 20% pro-gay marriage to now over 60%. This is objectively a new liberty that is important to us as Americans, regardless if you're gay or not. This is an example of groupthink, the group thinking, changing norms over time. However, just as easily as that comes up from 27, more than 40 percentage points, it can come right back down. It's insane how quickly, historically, these things can change. And with groupthink, you never know what's going to trend. What's good for society as a whole might not be perceived as good from the group. And in an era where we're all controlled from media, this is very important to understand. Now, what can we do to stop it? It's super easy to point out these instances, but it's a whole nother ballgame to recognize when we're doing it ourselves and understand that this isn't us thinking. This isn't our morals saying certain things, whatever beliefs you may have. Your morals are shaped by the people around you, just as mine are shaped by the people around me. If I lived in the Roman Empire, my stance on social issues would be drastically different than when I live now. This isn't because I'm a different person then than I am now in this hypothetical scenario. This is because the morals of the society surround me have different implications. So in conclusion, it's important for all of us, regardless of political standing or controversial issues or anything, we need to be able to recognize when we're thinking as a group and when we're thinking with our own feelings. And we need to be able to understand, hey, this isn't me. This isn't you. This isn't whatever. Now, we are all shaped by our environments and who we share them with. And I urge each and every one of you to take a look in the mirror and understand when your environment is shaping you and when you're shaping the policies that your environment holds. Each and every one of us are prone to this. So we need to be able to recognize it and therefore preserve what makes you and I so unique.